Okay, now the next feature that I want to add to the backdoor is file upload. So I want to be able to upload files from my computer, from the hacker computer, to the client, to the hacked computer. Now this can be very useful because you can use it to upload any file that you want. So you can upload another backdoor for another program, for example. You can upload a keylogger like the one that we did before. You can upload any other Python program that you can think of and make. You can upload viruses. And then once you have that file uploaded, you can just execute it because our backdoor already allows us to execute system commands. Now, if you think of it, uploading a file is very similar to downloading a file. We are still transferring a file from one computer to another computer over TCP. So, again, the first thing that we'll need to do is to read the file. We're gonna have to send the file as a sequence of characters, create an empty file at the destination, and store the sequence of characters in this empty file. Now, the main difference that we're gonna have right now, when we were downloading stuff, we were reading the file from the hacked or from the client machine and then writing the file at the listener, at the hacker machine. Now, since we're uploading a file from the hacker machine, from the local machine, we're gonna have to read the file through the listener program and write the file using the backdoor program. So, as you know, our listener is only able to write files. So when we upload, we want to read a local file from our local computer. Therefore, we need a method to read a file. Now we've already implemented that method in my backdoor. So I'm gonna copy all of this. And then I'm gonna paste it here in my listener. And then we're gonna read the file from here, send it to the backdoor, but again, as we know, the backdoor is only able to read files. So this time, we want it to be able to write the file that it receives when we are uploading a file. So we're going to copy the write file method in here, and we're gonna paste it here. And now, both our backdoor and listener have the ability to read and write files. So as you can see, the upload is the opposite of the download. Now, there is another difference. When we were uploading a file, we read the user input, we split it based on the space, so it was made up of two elements. The first element was the download, and the next element was the file name. So the victim or the backdoor read sample.txt to us and then send us the contents of that file. Then when we received it in here, we wrote it to disk. The difference now is we want to upload something from the local machine. So we're gonna have to first of all send the command, which is upload. Then we have to send the file name, which is the file name that the user is gonna specify. And finally, we'll also have to append another element to our command list, which will contain the contents of the file that the user specified, which is this one. Then, when the victim receives this, it's going to write it on disk, and it really has nothing to return, but we'll make it return a message just saying upload successful. So, let's go ahead and put this in practice. Now, this is the code that runs our listener, and the user is going to enter their command at this line. The command is going to be stored in here. This is going to be split based on the space into a number of elements. And just like we've seen in this diagram, if a user enters upload sample.txt, then the command list is going to look something like this. It'll be, the first element is going to be upload, and the next element is going to be the file name, so it'll be sample.txt, for example. So this list right here is going to be passed to execute remotely. This command is going to be passed to it. Now, before we pass this to the execute remotely method, we need to add another element to this list, because according to this diagram that we have right here, we need to give the command, the file name, and the file contents to the victim so they can write this file on their computer. So we need to first of all read this file, the file that's called sample.txt, and append its content as a new element to the command list. Now, reading the file is very easy for us because we already have a method that allows us to read the file. So we're going to say, first of all, we're going to check if the command is the upload command. So we're going to do if command 0 is equal to upload. So we're checking if the first element of the command list, which is this one, we're checking if it's equal to upload. If it is, then we want to read the contents of the second element, which is this one. So we're going to say file content is equal to self.read file, and the path to the file that we want to read is the second element of the command list in here, so we can access that by doing command 1. Now, this will open this file, it'll read its content, and it'll store its value in the file content variable. Then we will append this to our command list. So we're going to say command.append, and we're going to append the file content. So now, by the end of this line, the command list is going to look like so. It's going to have the upload as the first element, the file name as the second element, and it'll have an extra element. So if we just look at this in here, it'll have an extra element, and this element will be the contents of the file. So it'll be exactly like we have in here. Now I'm going to remove this because I just wanted to show you what the command list is going to look like. Now after this if statement, the command list is going to be passed to execute remotely. This will be sent to my backdoor. So now all we have to do is write code in our backdoor to handle this command list and write a file on the hacked system based on the information sent in this command list. And I'll show you how to do that in the next lecture.